Hi, I'm Mina,
I'm Kevin.
and welcome to IPCCR's Grant Info Session.
We're here to give you information to make your grant application the best it can possibly be. We have some common questions and we have some information areas that give you a robust understanding of what to fill out and what to look for when you're filling out your application. That said, here we go.
Here we go. So, what do we mean by international?
IPCCR's granting purpose is to foster collaborations and connections that have an international aspect to them for field-specific research. This could mean that your collaborator lives outside of the US, that the conference, workshop, or information that you are looking for is physically located outside the US, and so on. You personally do not have to travel outside the US, and traveling outside the US by itself does not meet our international standard. Try to think about the impact of your research. Why does it need to be global? Why does it need to be international? What do we mean by collaboration? Who could be a collaborator?
So, collaboration may have many definitions, which you may make your case for in your application. Our basic guiding principle is that collaboration is not simply transactional. There is some sharing of purpose between you and your collaborator besides business as usual. Collaboration adds to the research being done by offering an exchange of ideas. It also should have some sense of relationship building. Collaborators may be individuals, entities, or other programs within institutions. Ideally, a collaborator would contribute other perspective, more creative solutions to your research question, resulting in more expansive knowledge sharing, background context, depth of experience or historical knowledge, teamwork, and even connection. So, what do we mean by grant?
In general, a grant is access to institutional funds from a particular program that help to further the mission, vision, and values of that institution. For us, our mission is to foster international collaborations and research within the performing arts community that promotes the goals of TDPS and UMD as a whole. Grants cover expenses and costs that are associated with fieldwork, with collaboration building, and research that are specifically related to furthering those goals. Importantly, this grant should not be considered free money, but financial support from IPCCR to further both your research goals and ours. What do we mean by research grant in particular?
IPCCR grants provide support for specific activities that are related to your particular research as outlined in your application. Funds can be used to support your expenses related to carrying out these activities. IPCCR funds are often used to support UMD faculty, graduate students for travel, limited technical personnel fees, per diems, design materials that are specifically needed for field research, or practice as research in order to answer your original research question. This can also include conferences or workshops related to activities specific to your research and your research question.
Importantly, this research grant is not a producing grant, so the production of your work is not covered by this grant. It also means that these grants are not intended for professional development only, regardless of where that takes place. IPCCR will only fund professional development activities as field research, but please make sure to justify why the professional development opportunity is both specific to your research here at UMD and how it has an international and collaborative element that will allow you to move forward towards answering your question. So, what makes for a good grant proposal?
It's a great question. So first off, review IPCCR's mission statement and check that your proposal goals align in a meaningful way with the mission statement. Some questions that may be helpful to explore are, do you want to do research? Are there people or institutions you're connected with or will become connected with to pursue that research? Is there an element of international collaboration? Also, is it something that you can feasibly do? Your goal is to give the committee a robust understanding of your intended project, which should give the committee confidence to approve it. When taken as a whole, the information and materials you provide should give a clear explanation of your project's purpose and, in general, will answer these questions meaningfully and efficiently.
What are you trying to research? Why is it important to you and to your greater body of work? How will it contribute to TDPS and UMD in general? What new idea or gap in knowledge are you trying to address?
Who are you? Specifically, what makes you a great fit to carry out this research? Speak briefly on your expertise and experience and to any professional or personal connections with collaborators that will facilitate your process.
How will you accomplish this? Speak to your project's design, the planning, and the implementation of activities you have taken or will undertake, to your collaborators and their impact, into any critical steps that you have confirmed already. Feasibility is a very critical component determining which projects we award.
What are the goals and desired outcomes of your research project? What will you be able to offer at the end of the project, concretely and broadly?
Have a clear, specific budget that falls within the granting parameters set. Please note that we consider collaborators as collaborators, meaning your outside collaborators should have just as much buy-in to the research as you do. We do not want to fund your collaborators' participation in your research. We want to fund your participation in your research.
So one of our requirements is that after you return, you share the results, the information, the experience with IPCCR and the greater TDPS and UMD community. So this can mean a workshop, a presentation, a course offering, anything like that. So how are proposals evaluated?
Each grant proposal is evaluated on a rubric in order to bring a measure of fairness to all proposals. These categories are the clarity and development of the proposal, the depth of the international collaboration, the enhancement of faculty and student knowledge of international trends in the field, budget feasibility and appropriateness. Does it seem like you can accomplish your proposal within the budget you provided? The ease of integration into TDPS classes or other learning opportunities, how much it encourages interdisciplinary collaboration, the enhancement of TDPS and UMD's esteem and profile, the creativity and innovation and contribution of new knowledge to the field, the project feasibility in general, and then the use of global classroom technologies. Outside of something that is not within the scope of IPCCR to fund, we will fund as many proposals that we score highly as we can. What sort of research-based projects does IPCCR fund or not fund?
We fund a wide variety of projects. If it is important to your research and aligns with IPCCR's mission, you may make a case for grant funding. We have a 1-minute eligibility quiz linked on our website that you can complete to see if your project fits. Keep in mind that well-formulated and defined projects with clear goals and high feasibility make for stronger applications. You can see examples of previously funded projects on our website. We will not fund any applications that do not have international collaboration and research as primary components. We also cannot fund any prior expenses or debts, whether or not they're related to your research, certifications of any kind, distribution costs or presentation costs in festivals, the payment of your collaborator, aka an honorarium, payment to you, the applicant, or the presentation of your work solely, international or otherwise. You may make a case if your presentation supports or is part of your research process. What kinds of costs should you include in your budget?
Your project budget should reflect all expenses related to the proposed project and any income or in-kind contributions that you've prepared for the purposes of your project. Project expenses may include travel, per diem, lodging, professional services, incidental expenses, workshop fees, or other costs that are critical to the completion of your work. The project budget template provides common categories you may face, and you are encouraged to describe any other costs as necessary. The budget should not include anything not directly related to the project, i.e. your rent while you're gone. A precise budget that points to real cost data you have acquired from researching the implementation of your project will give the committee much more confidence that you have a practical understanding of the true feasibility of your project. Using vague or unsubstantiated costs will diminish an otherwise competitive proposal. What are in-kind contributions?
In-kind contributions are donations of goods or services that you would otherwise have to contract or pay for, but are given to you in support of your project instead of cash. Examples include a graphic designer's donated service, donated materials, a donated menu. If you saved a cost by someone offering this to you, it is usually considered an in-kind donation. Note that a collaborator's time or your partner's time or work do not count as in-kind donations. Where can applicants go to get more help and feedback about their application, Kevin?
For any part of your application process, you can go to Lisa Nathans or Adrian Fang or any member of the IPCCR committee for questions on figuring out how to strengthen your application or any questions you may have about the feasibility of your project or things to include. The College of Arts and Humanities also has a ton of resources about grants and grant writing that you can access as well.
Bye!
Bye!